we need to have this conversation. So if you think about it, why do we have sleepless nights and wake up very early in the morning to keep running every single day of our life? For what? And I know that we've all come to agree that we are building some sort of success. Like we are chasing after some level of success. But the first question that we need to pause right now and ask ourselves is, what does success really mean? And are we really doing this thing because everyone else is doing it? Have we just come to conclude that that is the only way it should be done? That's what we're doing it? Or have we really thought hard about what we're doing to figure out if it is the best thing to do? You, I mean, for someone like me, I spend almost every waking minute working. But the question is, why? Why am I doing that? Have I even sat down to ask myself that? When I think back, for as long as I can remember, I've always been just working. You know, I don't even know how to take breaks. Like, if I'm taking break, probably because I'm too tired to be doing anything, and like, my brain is just not giving me the energy to continue, and that's why I'm probably lying down and sometimes end up doom scrolling to escape that. But if I am active at any point in time, it means that I am actively working. Even if I'm not working, I'm learning. So it's either learning or working. And I remember even as a child, my parents knew not to disturb me because I was always working or learning. To a point that if they saw me on my computer, they automatically assumed that I was learning or working, even when I was sitting there playing games. But it hasn't stopped. And the question I keep asking myself right now is, when is it going to stop? Why are we chasing success? But unfortunately, for most of us, we haven't even defined what success is. So let me ask you a question. What does success really mean to you? What is the thing that you would achieve for you to say that, okay, this is it? I've achieved it. Because you are fighting right now, like you're literally fighting to win this war of life. Like, there's definitely something. You wake up every single day and you go to work. Why? Because you want some level of success. Even if you disagree, that is your reality, and that is our reality. I mean, I'm not out of the boat, but the question is why and when will it end? Like at what point in time will you see that you've attained success? Because other people that I know who you would deem successful by the metrics that you're using to measure your own level of success, you are seeing yourself right now and you're seeing that, yeah, there's something more, whether it is monetary, whatever achievements that you can make for you to become successful. There are people who have acquired that, and you know what? They're still working for more. And the truth is that even if you manage to achieve that thing that you want to achieve, you still wake up tomorrow trying to do more. And for the people who get to the level that they think is enough and begin to do nothing, sooner or later they figure out the fact that this life is worth nothing if you have nothing doing. And somebody use an analogy to explain it. Like you're fighting for money, okay? That's all you're fighting for. I mean, if you can tell me that you're not looking for money, you're probably looking for something else. But beneath everything else you are looking for, the exchange of value in our world right now is money. Right? That is the means that we exchange value to a large extent. So whatever your measure of success is, you would eventually land on some level of money. If there are two things, let me say something that comes to mind. One, somebody said that if they gave you $3 billion right now, will you take it? $3 billion, and you say yes, I will take it. Okay. So the other question is, if they gave you $3 billion right now, and the only caveat was that if you take it, you die, would you still take the $3 billion? It means your life is more valuable than $3 billion because you are just rejecting $3 billion. You're just rejecting $3 billion. So yes, we need life. That's definitely something more important. But the other thing that someone else said was, if you had the whole money, like all the money in the world, and you were stuck on, say, a desert where there's no human at all. Let's say the whole world, you are the only one left, and you can have access to anything and everything that you want in the world. What will you do with your life? And I know that you start imagining big things, fancy things like, oh, I'll get this car. Yes, you can get all the car, all the planes, anything that you want, you can get, right? But then you are lonely. You realize that that life in itself is not even worth living. When you have it all and there is no one to share it with, you can get all the food, but you still feel bored. You can play all the games in the world, but you still feel bored. So it means that life in itself is not just as individuals living, like without a community, without the people around us, without other human beings, life is not worth living. Right. Now let's get back to the topic. Success. Let's begin to question ourselves. Like, if you're a believer in the Bible, you probably have read the scripture. And if you're not, this is something that you need to know. King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, says, to the writing of many books, there is no end. Like, you wake up and you toil, you do things like every single day. And I know I'm ranting right now, but these are just thoughts running through my head. It's every single day. Right now it is past 10 p.m. I'll probably be sleeping around like 1 a.m. Wake up early in the morning and continue the talk every single day of my life. For what? Some money? Then what? And all of us are caught up in the rat race. Some people, I mean, when we use the rat race now, a lot of people just attribute that to having a 9 to 5 or 8 to 5. But that's not the only thing. I mean, we are all in a race chasing something that we don't even know. I mean, yes, you can have some direction, you can have some perspective, you can have some ideas of what you want. But then when you get it, there's still something more. Like, you want something more. So the truth is that we're chasing things. We're just chasing. Like, we are in a rat race, going helter skelter after things. Is it worth it? I don't know. I just don't know. Wake up every single day of our life and continue working till the day we die. I know a lot of people are thinking about, oh, I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire. I'm going to retire. I want to work hard right now and make money so that I retire. But the question is, you retire and do what? Like, what do you want to do with your life? And what exactly do you want to do with your life when you retire that you cannot do right now? And why are you depriving yourself right now for that? And these are all questions to myself, because every single day of my life, I'm busy working on something. But for me, I'm never even thinking about anytime that I'm going to retire. I'm just thinking about making impacts in this world. And for me, it means I can't afford not to be working. And whether fortunately, unfortunately, I grew up seeing my parents go to work every single day. Even when they were sick, they were going to work. And this is not someone else's 9 to 5 that they are being paid to do. This is their own businesses that they were running. But even that demanded more of their time than if they were doing a 9 to 5. I saw this, and I don't know if it is a genetic traits, like something that was passed through our DNA, because my grandmother is like that. She wants to, even now that she's not too well in her old ages, she still wants to be working every single day. For as long as she can wake up and feel some energy in her, she wants to be doing something. It's like we itch when we are not doing anything. And I wonder if I want to believe that there are a lot of people who also feel that way, but whether it is genetic or it's just the as a result of the environment we grew in, I do not know. But sometimes I worry about it because when I was younger, I was worried that my parents never had time for me. Uh, I mean, they didn't have time for any of us. And when I say they didn't have time for any of us, what I mean is we didn't have like playtime. I know some of you may not be able to relate, but there are a lot of us in the world where our parents just parented us by teaching us what we needed to know, paying for our school fees and putting us in school, making sure that we're healthy, we had food to eat. That was what parenting was to for some of us. There wasn't like, oh, let's go to a playground. Even to get my parents to come for my parent teacher association meetings were difficult. So I felt as a child I was missing my parents. Like I really wish we had more time with them, but they were busy. They needed to work to pay for my fees, and they there was no excuse for that. So growing up, I've been thinking, yeah, I need to work harder right now. Like as I'm young, I need to work harder just so that I'll make so much money that when I start giving birth or when I'm ready to settle down and give birth, then I wouldn't have to work as hard as my parents were working. And now as I draw closer to it, I wonder if that holds any truth. Like because every single day I'm working and even when I'm sleeping, I'm dreaming about something that I have to do. I can barely sit down and do nothing. Like tell me, how does it even work? Sit down and do nothing. Of course, if you're sitting down and scrolling on social media, then yeah, you're still doing something. But sit down and do nothing. Nothing with your life. Don't think about work. Don't think about making money. Just be there. What would you be doing? Somebody would say, I'll be playing games. Yeah, what kind of games? I don't even know how to play games. I don't play FIFA or anything like that. So what will I be doing? I don't know. Yeah. So it's like chasing after the wind. That's what King Solomon said. We just running and running and running and running and running and running. And until the day that we leave the world, we'll keep running. But more importantly, whether we know what we're doing or what we don't know what we're doing, it is more important for us to know that success as a measure should be determined by yourself. Let no one else determine what success means to you. And never consider success as a destination. I think that's how I think about it. It's a lot of people who are not doing the things they should be doing, not enjoying the little time they have, the little freedom they have, just because they are waiting to attain a certain level of success to be able to start enjoying that thing. But the reality is that that level of success, when you get there, you'd find something extra, like something more that you need. Your human needs are insatiable. Trust me. I mean, they are insatiable. Even the richest man in the world right now is still looking for money. I mean, you can argue that it is not money that moves him, it's not necessarily the money that he's looking for. But the point I'm making is he's still looking for something. Like something is driving him. You can't get there and say, oh, I have arrived, so I'm not doing anything. And the moment you say, I'm not doing anything else, I'm just going to have fun for the rest of my life, you'd realize how boring that life is. Like, it feels like life in itself just is, you just have to have pain. I don't know. It's like that's how life is. You just have to have pain. There has to be some sort of painful experiences. You have to go through some form of stress. That's basically what life is. Kennedy, what do you say?
So true. You made me remember the verse where it says that none shall toil.
Mm. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So the scripture where God placed the curses, like you have to toil.
You have to feel pain.
So it's like that's basically what our life is, you know? So even if you attain that level of success that you're waiting for, you'd still find something else that you have to go after. You have to do this next thing. So if you're waiting and seeing success as a destination that you need to get to, you'd be disappointed. So what you want to treat success as is the journey itself and enjoy the journey. In as much as I've ranted and talked about the stresses of life and whether there's meaning to it and there's no meaning, I mean, King Solomon said, vanity upon vanity, all is vanity. Indeed, it is vanity. But even in the meaningless of life, you can find meaning. But you define what that meaning is. Let no one else define it for you. So every single day I wake up, I'm toiling, I'm coding, learning new stuff. I just find joy in that. Like I'm excited about the thing that I'm doing, you know. And unfortunately, it's not every one of us who is in a capacity to be excited about what you're doing. But if that is the case, probably is because external factors are deciding for you what you should be excited about and what you shouldn't be excited about. What I want us to think about, and this is just me thinking out loud together with you, is that is it possible that even when we are going through the pain, we'll find that iota of excitement, like whatever it is, and enjoy that and treat success as the journey that we're going through because it's just levels by levels. Today, focus on today. What can you control today that would make you excited and curious about what you're doing and potentially also set you up for a better tomorrow. Remember, as they say, tomorrow may never come, but we still have to prepare for it anyway. Yeah, let me stop ranting. These are some of the thoughts that I don't know whether to call them weird thoughts, but these are some of the thoughts that I think sometimes when I'm sitting alone with my thoughts. Maybe I should be recording more of them often. All right, I'll see you in the next video.